Alright guys, so I wanted to do something a little bit different today because there's a bunch of information that has come out about Year 8 of Dead by Daylight, and it sounds really freaking exciting. Now you might have heard about Nicolas Cage, we'll get to that in a minute, but first, I want to cover this, Dead by Daylight and Transmission. This looks like it might be like some sort of either space, alien type of theme, or something related to AI, maybe all of the above. But the trailer has come out for it, I'm gonna go ahead and watch it, and then we'll talk about it a little bit more, kind of just like what I'm picking up from it. Alright, here we go.
It wasn't programmed to harm the crew. It was supposed to help us build a safer home, but something happened. It became self-aware. It has no empathy. It doesn't feel pain.
It doesn't feel pain. What the heck is that about? It like shoots orbs.
It learns at an impossible rate, and it won't stop until we are dead. Or worse.
Looks so cool. Okay, let's dissect this a little bit. Notice how it says, by the way, new survivor, June 13th. That is so close. That means there's going to be a PTB soon. All right, so let's go back to it. And let's just kind of skip through a little bit. So one thing obviously this is a new survivor. Let's look at their names real quick. Gabriel Soma and new killer, the Singularity. So Soma, that's kind of interesting because there's an AI-based game called Soma that's amazing. I wonder if that had any sort of tie-in there. But again, if we go back, so we notice like there's some sort of planet type of map I guess we're gonna get. Lots of weird vegetation of some sort or whatever else. I don't know what this dude's doing here. Maybe this is like the future of humanity or something like that, where somehow he got pulled into the fog down the road. Some sort of futuristic land vehicle there. And the real interesting thing is these orbs that, you know, you can see this one get flung onto the tree and then it kind of just integrates there. And whatever this killer is, they keep flinging these things out. So here it comes creeping up on him when he's working on a gen. Of course there's going to be generators on other planets, right? And then, so it's creeping on him, starts flinging those orbs again. And it looks like they've got like veins on them or something too. So clearly they've got some level of, you know, organic nature to them. And he takes off running. But this is interesting. He gets stuck with one right here. And then as he goes in, he trips. Obviously, you're not going to be tripping in Dead by Daylight unless they change the mechanics. But as he comes to, I also found this really interesting too. So he's got the orb on his back, and then all of a sudden it looks like this thing can just materialize. Now, I don't know if it materialized from another one of those sacks or what, but it looks like we're going to have another teleporting killer. And in this case, it might be these little things. If they're launching these things around the map, maybe they're portal points, almost like I'm thinking like a Demogorgon, or even like how the Dredge teleports to lockers. It looks like it's going to have a teleport mechanic. Aside from that, you know, when you see a close-up of it, clearly it's organic, but also it's got technology, right? But he did say in the trailer that it can't feel, or it doesn't feel pain. So there's another look at it. Clearly it's got this giant blade. I am really happy to see that we're getting a killer that is not a humanoid killer. I'm so over humanoid killers, so that I'm super hyped for. You know, obviously this isn't Alien from the Alien franchise, but that's okay. This actually looks pretty dang cool. And again, we're getting a new survivor and a new killer with this. It's called End Transmission. Cannot wait to play. That means we're going to be getting some footage of this probably in the next couple weeks. So hyped. Now with that said, let's go ahead and look at the screenshot real quick. So again, another close-up look of the killer. Here though, look at this here. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit. Is this part of the map? It looks like it is, right? So it looks like a stairway up. It almost reminds me of the Skull Merchants, you know, how it's got its little lab or something like that, but it looks like you can run up in this. I'm guessing there's gonna be some sort of loop points and maybe a pallet in there. You could maybe repair a gen in there. We see a hook here, so clearly this is meant to be a preview of a map, right? Actually, it does look like you might be able to get up to the top level too, because there is a railing up here, unless that's just like a decorative thing. But I don't know, I'm super curious about this, because clearly this is not Earth. This is some sort of alien planet. Also, and again, another look. If we zoom in on the details here, super creepy mouth there, like with all those tubes going in. I don't know what this crystal stuff's about, but again, machinery, organic, and then this giant blade. So one thing I'm really wondering about, oh, by the way, he's got a claw too on top of it. But I'm wondering, what's the Mori of this thing going to look like? The Singularity. Either way, again, so hyped because we're getting a non-humanoid killer. I'm hoping this thing is menacing. I'm hoping it's big and it really stands out. Looks like it's going to be a scary one to go against. So for that, I'm super grateful. Now the Survivor, we don't really know anything about. If I go back to the screenshot, again, no details. Looks like a cool Survivor though. I mean, you know, again, hyped to check them out, see some of these new perks. But right now there's no information on perks for either of these characters that are being added to the game. And then this is also something that's really cool that I saw on Twitter today. This Dead by Daylight Year 8 roadmap. So we can see here chapter and transmission with the Singularity, Gabriel Soma, tied to an in-game event. So they're going to be launching an event as well. I'm guessing this is, you know, also part of the whole Year 8 side of things. This is around the time that they launch that, obviously. But then if we look here, this is also cool, right? So July, you've got Tome 16, Chapter New Survivor. This is supposedly going to be Nicolas Cage. So they've also got a Nicolas Cage trailer. I'll play that in a second. But I think this is going to be Nicolas Cage here in July. And then August, new chapter with a new killer and survivor. Look at that. There's not a long gap between these two. I mean, you're talking literally a couple months and then boom, another drop. That's awesome. Now, of course, you get an in-game event with that. Tome 17 comes. Another chapter in November, so there's a little bit of a gap here, but not too long. But you get a new killer, and the wait's not super long again before you get a new survivor. So January 2024, new survivor. March, then they've got another killer and survivor, and then they're going to move on to Tome 19 right before Year 9 starts. Now, here's one thing that I think is really interesting. You know, obviously, they've got these in-game events. They've got ongoing gameplay improvement and balancing, ongoing quality of life improvements all throughout the year. They talk about perk meta rework, which I guess they're going to do a whole new rework, right? That's what it sounds like to me. Map balancing, anti-camping. Now, what does anti-camping mean in the grand scheme of things? It's not really clear, but they've talked about like the end game sort of solution that they wanted to do for slugging. I don't know if that ties into this or if they're thinking about something else that deters killers from, you know, camping around hooks or whatever else. Also, quality of life improvements, loadout search bar. So they're going to let you finally search your perks during your loadout screen. That's awesome. Obviously, it's a simple little thing, but I think it's going to be so good for, you know, just given the number of perks that are in the game now, being able to find exactly what you want in an instant. Also, player cards. So I'm guessing this is like some sort of profile type of system. Survivor disconnect bot. So it sounds like if somebody disconnects, the survivor may now be taken over by a bot. That'll be interesting, assuming that the bots are good. And then player report feedback. This might mean that we might get some sort of response now after we file a report, as in if they actually took action and what might have happened. That would be great because I hear time and time again from people that reporting does nothing. And I think it would be great to get some sort of response that like, hey, yeah, we did something here. There was somebody that was cheating, or there was somebody that was being incredibly toxic or whatever else. You know, as long as it falls in line with like rule breaking, I don't see any problem with them reporting what happens. But super cool roadmap. I mean, I'm happy to see this as somebody that's been playing Dead by Daylight for as long as I have. This looks great. This actually has me excited. Now, there are a couple other interesting things here. There's going to be some sort of Iron Maiden collection crossover. I'm guessing this is cosmetic based, but in the event that it's music, my only request to Dead by Daylight is please make sure that you've got copyright sorted. If they add copyrighted music to the game, it's going to cause problems for a lot of creators. So that's my only concern there. I hope it's only cosmetics. But also beyond Iron Maiden, you've also got Slipknot as well. No leaks, no previews on what these are going to be just yet, but I can only imagine. They could obviously add all sorts of skins from these two. And then they're talking about doing something with Naughty Bear. And so this is like some sort of mock-up. I don't know who this is supposed to be, though. Is this going to be the Trapper, you know, given the size of the blade? Initially, when I saw this, it made me think of the goofy stuff that we saw with Legion and the bunnies. But this, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe this is Trapper, unless it's the new Singularity killer. That would be something. And then there's some sort of crossover with somebody I've actually not heard of before. Akumi Nakamura? Is that right? I don't know how to say their name exactly, but again, some sort of crossover here. I don't know exactly which character this is going to be. Could this be maybe the Spirit or something like that? I don't know, but we will find out. But now let's get to the other thing that you guys probably want to see, the Nicolas Cage trailer. We're going to jump right into it. All right, here we go. Nicolas Cage, check this out.
There's nothing more powerful than imagination. It can shape the fabric of reality. everything you may think you know.
So crazy. Nicolas Cage, Dead by Daylight. I was actually, I tweeted at the devs. I was like, well, one of the devs. But I was like, you know, perfect crossover for Candyman, because they both have an issue with bees, with the whole, like, not the bees meme. But if we look at this, you know, you see, I don't know if this is letting us know that there's, like, maybe going to be a map variant or something like that, because this is some sort of cavern. Director chair is knocked over. I mean, clearly this is some sort of set, or maybe this is when he got taken by the fog. Because again, there's that chair knocked over. Don't know what else to pick up from this, although that burger looks like it's been there for quite a while. But this might be some sort of map variant preview of some sort. And then, of course, you've got Nicolas Cage here himself. Talk about a crossover that I don't think I ever would have seen coming. If you would have given me 100 guesses as to who do you think the next survivor would be with no hints, I would have never guessed, even in the 100 guesses, that Nicolas Cage was coming to the game. So this is kind of interesting. This is, you know, literally a celebrity crossover using his own, you know, voice. It sounds like he's going to do the voice work. Can't wait to hear his reactions when he gets hooked or whatever else. You know, all those different voice lines. Or even when he gets, like, sick from the plague. He's probably going to have to record all that stuff, and I think it's going to be kind of funny. But either way, this is cool. You know, it's a high-profile crossover, and it looks like this is going to be maybe a unique character. Not just like a skin, but actually a character that you could play with its own perks. So it sounds like he's going to come out maybe in July. We will see. And last but not least, there was some sort of other leak here. Now, they don't show any gameplay, and this hasn't fully come out yet through Dead by Daylight's official channel, but they're talking about doing a crossover with Supermassive Games, where it's going to be a single-player game. Now, Supermassive, they've made some awesome games before. You might have seen me actually play through one of them called The Quarry. They're also known for the Dark Pictures anthology games and Until Dawn as well. But The Quarry was one of my favorite games to come out of 2022. So this gets me really excited because what they're actually working on is a single-player Dead by Daylight experience. So we've not had a chance to see this yet, right? There's been lore that's been teased, where you unlock things through the tomes and whatever else, but now we're finally going to get something that is going to be a single-player game that's probably going to flesh out some of the, you know, actual story where you can see it on screen, not just listen to it in like audio clips. And then in Seattle, they're actually working with a company I've not heard of before. It's called Midwinter Entertainment, but they are working on also another game in the Dead by Daylight franchise that's going to be reimagined multiplayer, they're calling it. And with that, they're saying it's going to be a PvE experience. So you're going to be taking on deadly enemies, according to what they're saying. They've not really shown anything with it yet, so all they've said is it's just very early in the development. But that means that we've got now 2 other Dead by Daylight games being made on top of Dead by Daylight evolving as a game over the next year. So here it says Dead by Daylight, what lies ahead. We're going to find out, I'm sure, over the summer, kind of some more hints as to what this is all about. And then when you add this with also the talk of the Dead by Daylight movie, supposedly there's been rights secured for a Dead by Daylight movie now. And if that's the case, there's a lot of Dead by Daylight content on the horizon. Who would have thought, right? Back in 2016 when I first started playing this game, man, humble beginnings, very, very cool game. Loved it. You know, I've been playing it ever since. But holy cow. Talk about a success story with Dead by Daylight continuing to evolve and now branching out to this degree. Absolutely insane. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And stay tuned. That means, you know, like I said, we're going to be getting a look at the new killer, new survivor sometime in the next 2 weeks. But I think I've covered just about everything that I'd wanted to in this video. Let me know down below what you guys think and what you're excited for. Are you more excited about the Dead by Daylight updates? What about the Supermassive game or even the Midwinter Entertainment reimagined PvE multiplayer? What are you guys looking forward to the most? Also, stay tuned. We're going to have footage of the new killer and the new chapter, survivor map, everything this month, probably in a couple weeks whenever the PTB opens up. And there's some other horror stuff happening as well with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's coming up as well. And on top of it, I'm going to be playing some Outlast Trials as well. So very, very fun month for horror games. Awesome update from Behavior. Can't wait to get more details here. And can't wait to see your comments. Again, let me know down below what you guys are hyped for. But that's going to do it for this one. Stay tuned for more content. I'll see you all next time.